Hello. It is already the end of April. That's insane. So it's time for another favorites video. I actually went and journaled all of my cute little favorites so that we can yap about them. I don't understand, but I feel like this month absolutely flew by. I feel like I just made a favorites video like last week, and that is somehow not the case, which is insane to me. But of course, we have still been testing lots of new things, so let me walk you through my April favorites. So I want to start off with skincare and makeup. Okay, first things first is my Current Body LED face mask. I have just the red light one. This is their more updated one, which I actually really like because it has a little clip that you can like hook onto your clothes. So sometimes I have this while I'm just tidying up in the evening. And then I also like that the updated one has this like strap, if you can tell. The old one I had, you had to like hook it through something and then strap it, and it was so hard to actually get it on. So I really like this. I feel like it's more secure and it's like better shape to your face. I'm not going to put this on right now because I have makeup on. But I would say the biggest thing that I noticed when using my red light mask is that the redness in my face goes down a lot, because a lot of us have surface redness on our face in particular. But if you're consistently using this, it helps a lot. I also do notice that I get less like tiny little breakouts. I don't know that that's what the mask is targeted for, but I do feel like it makes a difference in my skin, just overall, like tone and texture. So much better when I'm consistently using my red light mask. This is actually one of my May goals, is to like use this every single day. The redness, I would say you'll notice immediately, like right after I use my mask, the redness in my skin is so much less noticeable. So if you're doing makeup for a special event, I also really think that this is great because that lasts for a while after you use it. Speaking of undertones, I have a blue foundation mixer. If you're someone who's like me and you're like, okay, well, the cool tones look too pink, the neutral tones look too yellow, the warm tones look too orange, please invest in a blue foundation mixer because this has made a world of difference. I typically mix it with things that are a little bit too yellow. I feel like if I mix it with something that's a little bit too cool toned already, like too pink, it doesn't end up coming out quite the right color for me. But if you're trying to cool down something that's a little bit too orange or a little bit too yellow, I think the blue makes a really big difference. Now, there are other different like undertone mixers. If you have stuff that's too yellow and you're more of like a cool pink undertone, then you would want to mix with like a lavender kind of color. If you're more olive, that's like a warm leaning olive undertone, then you might want to mix with something that's already green. If you're a cool olive undertone, the blue is usually pretty helpful for like especially simultaneously like warming up and cooling down a yellow. I mean, technically you're just cooling it down because blue is like a cooler undertone. But when you're mixing blue with something that's a little bit too yellow, you end up with that like nice olive undertone. Anyways, this has been life-changing because I feel like my foundation actually finally matches my body, which was previously very difficult and irritating to do. If you struggle with finding the right foundation shade, basically the too long didn't read version, or in this case, too long didn't listen version, is that you should try a foundation mixing color. Not usually adding much, it's like the tiniest little drop of this, and it fixes the foundation color to match better. Next, I have the Salty Face Self Tan for your face. This is just like a very light mist. Obviously, I'm not gonna spray this because it's a self tanner. It is clear, so you can wear it under makeup, and I sometimes put it on in the morning, but I typically put it on at night. I have the shade medium to dark. This is really good. I just spray it on as the last step in my skincare routine. Usually I'll have done moisturizer right before, so my skin is still very hydrated, and I just blend it in and then wash my hands and we're good to go. My last skincare makeup items is this blush duo. It's the L'Oreal Lumi Bronze, which I might have talked about this in my last favorites video. I'm still obsessed. It's the shade Sun-Kissed Rosé. It's just like a very warm toned pink. I think it's supposed to be a bronzer technically, but I've been using it as a blush for like a while, more of like a bronzer. And then I just got this Glow Play blush from MAC in the shade Ginger Luck. I'm wearing both of these right now, but with the lighting in here, I'm not honestly entirely sure that they're gonna pick up on camera quite as much. but I'll try to put in a picture because I am genuinely obsessed with these two. I will probably be wearing this all of summer. Next up, we have things that I have been wearing on repeat. Technically, this one's not necessarily wearing on repeat, but this is a bikini from the brand Monday Swim. I'm obsessed with their swimsuits. I have several of them. I also have like some cover-ups from them. I just think that they're so freaking cute. Adam and I recently took a trip down to Laguna Beach for the weekend, and that's the bikini that I picked out. It's honestly my first pick almost every single time. I just think that their styles are so cute, and I just feel like the Monday quality is really good. So if you're looking for swimwear headed into summer, I would definitely recommend checking them out. I also have these Guess jeans, which I pulled out for our trip to Laguna as well. They're like a wide leg kind of baggy jean. I'll put a picture on the screen for you. I have a size 24. I'm usually a 25. So, but I just really like the fit of these. Like they're very relaxed and laid back, and I feel like they're great for a beach day or like a night out. If you want to dress them up, I feel like you still could. Just a nice medium wash, and I'm obsessed. Like, I had been sitting on them for a while. Also, I'm 5'2". I didn't have to alter these. I don't see a length on here, sadly, but it's the G11 wide leg. Obviously, I'll link everything in the description, but I'm obsessed with these. I also like that they're like kind of a mid-rise jean. They're not super high, but they're also not super low because I am a millennial, you guys, and I still like my high-rise jeans, but I feel like these being more of a mid-rise are the perfect length for you to be able to wear like a long sleeve and have it show a little bit of skin without it feeling like too much. That's how I plan on wearing them. Next, we have something that I genuinely can't believe it took me this long to pick up on. It's the 4-inch Lululemon Align shorts, no line in the front. I'm so glad that they decided to get rid of that. That's incredible. I like them so much more now. I also just really like the 4-inch shorts. I am only 5'2", so I just feel like sometimes the 6-inch ones look a little bit too long on me, and these I feel like don't ride up aggressively or anything, and they're perfect for your like heated sculpt style classes. I've been wearing these a lot too to like practice Pilates, reformer, mat, you name it, we're doing it right now, and these shorts are what I'm wearing. And then finally, I have been dying to try this brand. It's Daily Drills. I think that their sets are so cute. So this is like a little raglan set in this like light dusty blue. I am kind of obsessing over dusty blue right now. It was my sister's wedding color for her bridesmaid dresses, and I've kind of been obsessed with it ever since. Like, I just think that it's so cute. Anyways, I love this little set for like a little coffee moment in the morning, beach walk, hanging out, lounging at home, and they're really soft. They're 96% cotton, I think. Let me double check. 97% cotton and 3% spandex, so largely natural fibers, which we love to see. Okay, that's everything we're wearing. Let's move on to eating and drinking. Okay, first things first. Good on ya just launched collagen powder. I love collagen powder. I just feel like it's a lot easier than most traditional protein powders. It's also just naturally gluten and dairy free, which is hard to find, like a good protein powder that doesn't taste like trash. But since it's collagen powder, it's unflavored. So sometimes I mix it into coffee, sometimes I mix it into matcha, smoothies. You could add it into like a soup if you wanted. I just feel like it's really versatile. You could even like swap out a little bit of this for flour in a baked goods recipe. It's just so convenient, and I love that it's not flavored and I can add it to straight up anything versus like a chocolate or vanilla protein powder. I feel like you're a little bit more confined to what that's gonna taste good in, but that's just me. Oh, and overnight oats. See what I mean? You can literally add it to anything. It's incredible. Also, because I've been working out a lot, because I'm in my Pilates teacher training era, I am obsessed with electrolytes. I actually don't think I would be well without them at this point, because sometimes I'm practicing for like 2 or 3 hours a day, which is a lot, and I just feel like you need to replenish yourself a little bit after that. So I like these. I also really like the Good On You ones because they don't have as much sodium. Some of them are really high in sodium, which I don't love. These only have 25 milligrams, and then it has a little bit of potassium, vitamin C, and magnesium, and it's just basically like a lemonade when I drink it, which is incredible. Like, who doesn't want to start their day with an ice cold glass of lemonade? So I love these. These are the little travel sticks. I also take these if I'm like going on a flight to make sure that I'm hydrated afterwards, because nothing dries me out more than a plane. I hate it. Next, I honestly can't say that I'm a huge matcha drinker, but I've really been liking this Morning Made matcha. I specifically like it because it's not very high in caffeine. It only has 30 milligrams of caffeine per serving, and it's already like lightly sweetened. So to me, it's the perfect, I missed my afternoon coffee and it's like too late for me to have it, because I'm definitely more of a coffee drinker. But I feel like I'm in my at-home barista era. Like, I can make you a matcha, I can make you a pour over, I can make you a macchiato, like whatever you want. Now that I have an espresso machine and the little pour over setup, I feel like I can make it. And so I love having the option to make matcha. This one's the vanilla flavor, which I really like. Please ignore that mine is like a little bit dented. But I just feel like this is a nice, easy afternoon drink if it's too late in the day for me to have coffee and I want a little bit of caffeine, but not too much, if that makes sense. Okay, speaking of lattes, matcha, whatever, I am obsessed with the Califia almond milk. Like, I need you to know the level of obsession is that I will actually ask at the coffee shop what almond milk they're using. Because if they're using that brand of almond milk, I know I'm gonna like my latte. Because when it comes to non-dairy milks, I actually feel like the milk makes a major difference in how it tastes. So I'm always thrilled when I see that a coffee shop is carrying it. Pretty much all of my favorite coffee shops use that specific almond milk. It froths really well. I use it at home too. I use it for coffee, matcha, smoothies, whatever. It's genuinely the best non-dairy milk I think I've ever tried. It's incredible. And finally, this one's gonna sound so silly, but I'm currently obsessed with dates. Like, they are my favorite evening sweet treat. I only eat them basically the exact same way every single time I have a date. I take the pit out. I actually think the pitted dates are better. Like, I don't know why. I feel like they stay fresher. Ideally, I get them at the farmer's market, but if I must, I will buy them at the grocery store. Costco also has really good dates. Anyways, clearly this is an obsession for me at this point. But anyways, I just do dates. I take the pit out and I add a little bit of peanut butter and it is so freaking good. I also like to add a little Hue chocolate on the side because I think that they make the best dark chocolate. Anyways, that is the daily sweet treat right now and it is top tier. I would really recommend it. I've been trying to reduce my, I don't want to say added sugar because dates are like definitely a sweet treat, but more reduce my processed sugars. So like a chocolate bar is still processed sugar, even if they're sweetening it with coconut sugar. But a date is like still maintaining the fiber of the original fruit. So a little bit better. And then we're balancing it with the fat and protein that's in peanut butter. Obviously not that much peanut butter, but you get the point. It's feeling more balanced. That is all of my current obsessions when it comes to eating and drinking. Next, we have watching, reading, and listening. Some of our current TV shows are High Potential. Yes, High Potential, Will Trent, and Desperate Housewives. I'm honestly loving Desperate Housewives, and I love how many seasons there are. I've never watched it before, so it's still very like fresh for me. I also like that when a show has a ton of seasons, I get to just like leave it on in the background. And I think that that's so fun, especially if I'm like doing more of a mundane task on my phone, like answering emails or just a task that I really don't want to be doing. Sometimes I'm even like folding my laundry and I'll leave it on in the background because I don't feel like I have to pay super close attention to it. Listening the new Noah Kahan album, and then High Frequency Music. My hairstylist Claire put me onto this last time I saw her. She was like, "Are you listening to High Frequency Music? I think we should be doing that." And I was like, you know what? I used to journal to that before I moved to LA, and I was journaling a lot about moving to LA, and so now I'm like, I'm bringing it back. That's been really fun. I feel like it's a nice, relaxing vibe for the morning or evening. For reading, I have the book Yesteryear. It's by Carol Claire Burke. It's basically about trad wife culture. That's like the best way I can describe it. The storyline is basically that a trad wife influencer gets transported back to the 1800s and is like living in that era. I'm like a little over 100 pages in, which is less than halfway through the book, so I don't have too many thoughts on it, but I am finding it very interesting. I like the storytelling, and I do think that this was already picked up to become a movie, so I'm excited about that because I think this is going to make a very interesting movie. Okay, and our last category is just like general living lifestyle things. First up, I am obsessed with our new office furniture. We redid our second bedroom to be a home office since Adam is working from home too now. And it's just so nice to have like a dedicated workspace that I can shut the door to at the end of the day. Obviously, I'm in my living room right now. I still kind of work all over the house, but it's nice to have like a clear, dedicated setup, a little bit more storage for like photo and video equipment, and just somewhere that we get to hang out across from each other. It's so funny though, the desks are so ginormous that I genuinely feel like I still can't see him, like between our two computer screens. Like we're so far apart and like both locked in. Anyways, they're the West Elm Anton executive desk, and I just think they're absolutely stunning. We also have a West Elm kick, I guess, in this house, especially for the Anton collection, because I have the coffee table and the dining table and dining chairs. Obsessed. I really like that the line is all wood, so that if something happens to it, you can just sand it down and restain it, which is, I feel like, really uncommon with new furniture now, and I deeply dislike that. But Anton line is great if you're looking for solid wood. Linen bedding. I'm specifically obsessed with Citizenry, but I also have some from Parachute, and I just love the like lived-in cozy look of linen. I know that some people don't love the feel of linen, but if you get, I think it's French flax linen, whatever Citizenry is using is incredibly soft, and it genuinely gets softer every time I wash and dry it, which is crazy because a lot of my other linen, like I've tried Brooklinen before, and that I feel like almost gets crunchy as you wash it. Like I did not like it at all, and they inevitably end up ripping because it was like so crunchy almost, even when you're following the washing instructions, and I found that to be very frustrating. So Citizenry is my top pick for linen. I am waiting till they have another sale to invest in another set because I just ripped the Brooklinen linen sheets. So now I'm in need of another pair of sheets, but if you have any recommendations, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wait it out until Citizenry goes on sale again. Next, this is so niche. Like, I love a fancy hand soap. It's something that I feel like just makes your house feel like you're at a 5-star hotel, because if you go to like any 5-star hotel, they all have their own like signature luxury fragrance. And I just think that that's very fun. So this is Flamingo Estate. I also just think that these bottles, like, so stunning. This is the Jasmine Damask Rose scent, and I think I have one other scent, but I got one for both of our bathrooms, and eventually we'll get one for the kitchen. But they are pricey, but I just feel they feel so luxe for like your day-to-day experience. And I feel like I'm very into upgrading the day-to-day. Like if you really go through any of these, a lot of them are daily driver products and things that I use every single day, which I feel like is what belongs in a favorites video, you know? And then the last one is my brick. I was off of my brick routine for a while, and it honestly was not good for my sanity. Right now, I have my brick set to auto brick me at 6 p.m. every day, and then I unbrick the next morning, and like I get excited to unbrick still. I look forward to when it like doesn't even cross my mind and I can go a full day without unbricking. But I even brick my email, so it does come a time where I'm like, okay, well, I want to know what's in my inbox at this point. But I do feel like it makes a really big difference in me like actually logging off of work, especially if you work in social media or you just get like a lot of emails. It does make a difference to not be able to access it. Obviously, I can walk over and like unbrick my phone if I'm working and I still need to be working, but the fact that it auto does it at 6, I have found really, really helpful. That is everything for my month of April favorites, but I would love to know something that you're currently obsessed with, because I am always looking for things to add to my daily routines that are going to make my life better. That's all for this week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!